The Indian film industry is the largest in the world in terms of the number of films produced per year and, without a doubt, one of the most glamorous, although less known to the global audience than Hollywood. Most films are produced in local languages for the domestic market. We will tell you about the dark side of the Mumbai Dream Factory, connections with organized crime today. Prominent Indian film director Mahesh Bhatt once remarked that there is hardly anyone in the film industry who has not been connected to the Mafia. Since the 1950s, Mumbai, at that time still called Bombay, has become one of the centers of the Indian film industry. Films in Hindi, Marathi, and other local languages were produced at Film City, a special suburb of Bombay created by the government in 1957. In the 70s of the last century, the name Bollywood was coined. However, the industry created a bad reputation for itself among public and private investors. The absence of federal laws on copyright and film distribution discouraged banks, and the state stopped giving money to producers. Government regulation has rendered the film industry unsuitable for legitimate forms of funding. Investors have come to Bollywood who are able to take care of the return of their funds even in the absence of a legislative framework. The crime bosses of Mumbai, famous gangsters of those years, such as Daud Ibrahim Kaskar and Abu Salem, were directly involved in the film industry, using violence and threats on the one hand and large-scale funding on the other to influence directors and directors. Bollywood has become the scene of criminal conflicts. Bombay organized crime has made a significant contribution to the development of the local film industry, supplying local producers with millions of rupees. One of the biggest crime dons in Bombay, Haji Mustana, not only invested in Bollywood, but also helped build a film career for his wife, an actress named Sona. Mustana's friends were considered the most famous actors of those years: Dilip Kumar, popular in Asia, Raj Kapoor and Sanjeev Kumar. Although in 2000 the government changed the laws and the film industry could again qualify for bank loans, the influence of the underworld in Indian cinema is too deeply rooted. In 2011, a WikiLeaks cable released by the State Department further highlighted the close ties between India's multi-billion-dollar film industry and the underworld. The industry willingly accepted money from politicians and criminal elements who were looking for ways to launder their ill-gotten gains, which are called black money in India, the report noted. After the government legitimized the film industry, corporatization of Bollywood and the entire entertainment industry as a whole began. In 2020, Indian politician Jay Panda publicly accused Bollywood stars of having links with the underworld and even criminal organizations in Pakistan. The accusations were not supported by evidence, but logic suggests that such connections are inevitable. One of Bollywood's key criminal financiers, Daud Ibrahim, has been living in Karachi for many years, from where he runs his criminal empire. In 2003, he was declared an international criminal in the US and India. It is known about his close ties with the world's criminal organizations. Statistics show that half of the films produced with the money of the Mafia were never shown, and only 5% of them made a profit. However, the flow of investment has not dried up. The vibrant film industry has served and continues to serve as a beautiful cover for other, less attractive operations, laundering black money, smuggling gold, diamonds, and the rest, creating a romantic image of the Indian Mafia. Over time, these traditional ways of earning income were added to by others. When high profits appeared with the growth of the industry, yesterday's shady patrons of art engaged in extortion, kidnapping celebrities and their families for ransom, distributing pirated copies of audio and video cassettes. As in any other business, demand gives rise to supply, and quite quickly, filming received another criminal underside, an illegal immigration channel. In March 1993, Bombay was rocked by a series of explosions that took place in different parts of the city. 257 people died and 1,400 were injured. Daud Ibrahim, the leader of the international crime syndicate D Company, was reported to have orchestrated this. In Bombay, he completely ruined the life and career of actor Sanjay Dutt. He was convicted of possession of weapons, which, according to the verdict of the court, were provided to him by the Daud Ibrahim gang for shipment to a criminal group in Bombay. The bandits armed themselves in anticipation of the communal riots that were expected to follow the criminal acts. When Sanjay Dutt was arrested in 1994 at the Bombay airport, he was at the peak of his acting career. During interrogations, he admitted that in January 1993 he was visited by the Mafia don Abu Salem. He later retracted his testimony. Sanjay Dutt claimed that Abu Salem and his assistants brought 3 Kalashnikovs with them, of which the actor kept one. He claimed to have kept the gun to himself to protect his family during the riots in Bombay that followed the demolition of the Babri Mosque in 1992. Sanjay Dutt has spent 23 years in and out of jail intermittently. He was acquitted under the Crime and Subversion Prevention Act but convicted under the Weapons Act. The actor was finally released in 2016. The case of Sanjay Dutt is significant as an example of the relationship between the Mafia and Bollywood. At the end of August 2020, film producer Mahesh Manjrekar received a $5 million ransom message from an unknown person. The perpetrator claimed to be a member of Abu Salam's gang. Manjrekar went to the police. The wealth of Bollywood stars and film producers is always in plain sight and cannot be hidden. Stars' exorbitant film and television fees make them an obvious target for kidnapping, threats and extortion. In addition, cases of violence against celebrities, thanks to the wide coverage in the media, help to keep ordinary businessmen at bay. A significant portion of Bollywood's funds come through halal and are, of course, completely tax-free. Black money is often used to produce films under the guise of loans on dubious terms. The ratio of black and white money when shooting films is 60-40, and sometimes more. Some films are made entirely for cash. The filmed picture is sold for display abroad, to the countries of the Middle East or Africa, and, through fraud with accounts, significant amounts of money are legalized. In June 2020, filmmaker Abhinav Kashyap claimed that Bollywood superstar Salman Khan's being human charity was just show-off and window dressing, the real purpose of which is money laundering and restoring the actor's reputation. Abhinav Kashyap urged the authorities to investigate the foundation's activities, claiming that he was personally aware of significant inconsistencies between the actual work of being human and reports about it. Arbaz Khan, brother of Salman Khan, reacted to the accusation as follows. We went to court and also filed a complaint with the Filmmakers Association. We would like to go this way and have no interest in fighting in any other way. We do what we think is best to solve the problem. Creation of the image of the Indian Mafia. Unlike other countries with high mafia activity, Indian organized crime does not have deep social ties. Thanks to the film industry, crime syndicates have been able to create their own image and cultural framework in which they become socially acceptable and even somewhat attractive characters. Films such as The Company, based on the heavily embellished relationship between mafia bosses Daud Ibrahim and Kota Rajan, Once Upon a Time in Mumbai, film sheds light on the era when the Bombay underworld was under the leadership of Haji Mustanag Nayakan, a film about a gangster of the 80s of the last century who was Robin Hood for immigrants from South India who lived in Bombay, and many others created the image of a determined, tough, but ultimately fair and somewhat attractive mafioso hero. Needless to say, how far the screen images are from reality. Planet Bollywood. Hollywood produces an average of 500 films a year and has a global audience of 2 and 6 billion people, while Bollywood produces over 1,000 films each year with an audience of over 3 billion. In terms of the number of views, the Indian film industry overtook the United States back in 2004 and has been the undisputed leader since then. The coronavirus pandemic has hit Bollywood hard, filming has been halted, new films are being delayed, cinemas are closed and even after they open, it will not be possible to see full houses soon. Fear of infection and a sharp drop in viewers' incomes will not contribute to the box office. Film production will again become an extremely risky industry, inconvenient for banks and private investors. It is likely that the mafia tycoons will quickly win back what little influence they lost after film producers gained access to legal sources of funding. Mahesh Bhatt is right. In order to survive in this branch of Indian business, everyone needs to have connections with the mafia.